the targeting, if you know the targeting, this site did talked about all these concepts. Targeting, it goes from left to right or right to left, but then again, but the targeting is reset when you have unit that reloads, or whenever your unit reloads or your unit changes weapon, or whoever you're targeting, the enemy, goes into cover or reloads. So that's something to keep in mind, like, you know, when you're setting up your units here. So if they're like a sniper rifle or rocket launcher, the enemy will change targets. Typically, assault rifle, submachine gun, and shotgun have constant throughput damage and they don't take cover, right? So they're gonna, so if you put like a rocket launcher on this rightmost side and then you have like a submachine gun here, what they're gonna do is they're gonna target the rocket launcher whenever it's visible, but then whenever the rocket launcher hides, they target this like submachine gun that is left side, and then whenever the rocket launcher becomes visible, they target. The one thing you can do to kind of counter it is to have another, either a rocket launcher or a sniper rifle, because rocket launcher and the sniper rifle have the same rate of fire. So whenever one will become visible, the other will see that also, and then they'll like target each other. But that's not always the case, because again, if they get stuck with whoever they're targeting, that submachine gun or something for whatever reason, they're not gonna change target until either they reload or the submachine gun reloads, or they get stunned or whatever. But basically, you are more likely to get hit if you are submachine gun or assault rifle or shotgun. That is the general idea behind it. You're more likely to get hit, and if you want to spread damage, a good strategy instead is put a rocket launcher on the right side or sniper rifle, and then put like a frontliner. I would say a backliner and a frontliner. You guys understand, backliner would be sniper rifle and rocket launcher, and then frontliner would be everything else. So I would put like a backliner on the side, either first position or fifth position, and then the second position or fourth position I would put a frontliner. And that's how you spread damage roughly evenly, because they will prioritize targeting the rocket launcher or things, but you know, whenever they go into cover, they target the frontliner instead. So typically, your attackers, you want to synergize same, either both backliner or both frontliner. That way, the way they're targeting their like enemy is consistent with together. So you're not like spreading out. If you actually have like one backliner and one frontliner, it's not as great unless you're like relying on their burst to kind of do the actual damage. Right, like I could see that, like, you know, for example, you could put like PvP in there, and then you're relying on Harran to do like a full burst damage that will wipe the enemy. I could see that happening if you're like, you know. So that's the one of the ways where I could see a hybrid work. But typically, if you want to have focused damage, rocket launcher and sniper rifle tend to be together as attackers, and like, you know, the frontliners should be typically are together. Obviously, you can definitely get creative, right? Obviously, there's gonna be different ways to do it, but that's gonna be up to you. But taunt will target the people, or taunt will taunt the people only if they hidden. Now, there's an exception, right? Burst taunts like Ladmilia, Rupee, Christmas Rupee, and actually burst taunt on Noah. Those will actually make them get targeted primarily, because burst taunts are like a taunt all. But the noise and the normal attack taunt from Noise and Noah is a normal taunt that like it only taunts if whoever they hit. Because their rocket launchers, they will at least taunt 2 people. So now you're starting to imagine, it starts making sense. Why is Noise a taunter and why is she a rocket launcher, right? It's because rocket launchers will target multiple enemies and then they will taunt all of those that they hit towards them. Same with Noah. That's also why she's rocket launcher. It's because when you target the enemy, you know, you'll hit multiple enemies. Not to mention also, rocket launchers have very good energy generation rate. That's something too to keep in mind. Anis has probably the way so this site had it listed which units generate the fastest in 5 seconds. So for PvP, these actually, it ends up being actually a tier list of some sort, just by understanding who bursts first. Because remember that like one fight before what we had with that one guy, I actually specifically made sure to pick like units that will burst, gather a lot of burst fast, and because of that I managed to burst ahead before that, and I managed to get my Harran burst before he got his Noah shield. So burst, another thing that's gonna be meta for PvP, fast burst energy generation. Rocket launchers, shotguns are great ones. So burst, definitely a lot of the play early on is gonna be pretty huge, because whoever bursts first is, you know, that dictates a lot of how the battle goes, right? Oh, I guess one thing that I wanted to talk more about, not all skills are gonna be in time on burst. So typically in arena, it takes roughly 5 to 8 seconds before a full burst gauge, right? And these skills that have cooldowns in them, like the skills, they don't trigger until after 10 seconds or whatever that seconds has passed. So units that have like 20 seconds or whatever buffs, Admi for example, she has like a skill 2 that reduces damage taken for 2 allies of the highest attack. That's not gonna trigger until after 20 seconds. The game is pretty much over by then. Same with Dala. So her 10 seconds, if you have like a, you know, fast burst, which is probably gonna be the meta for a while, your 10 seconds, you're not gonna get this 10 seconds. So that's why I would rate Dala pretty low. I mean, unless you want to use her for her sniping capabilities. Wow. I wonder, I mean, maybe you could have like a team that will focus like a single target. I don't know about that, but I think probably the most disappointing is this CP deficit. What that means is people can just put like a strong CP. So apparently up to 4k CP difference does not make difference, but then 15k you can overcome with an upset victory. So you can still win just via strats up to 15k probably. So, which I did notice that, and I have tried fighting someone before in my bracket where they were like 20k above, and I did win. I have win, like I had like the better composition and he had like bad composition, and so that actually managed me to win that. So there seems like there's still deficiency, but I don't know what the numbers are exactly, but I think as long as you're roughly close, then you would probably do fine. But yeah, chat, I think those are all my PvP tips. If you guys have questions, just let me know.